Now, I am going to give some advice, particularly to women, and discuss this very important issue that affects women. And if all women are going to admit it, okay, there's always going to be some that it doesn't apply to, but I think you know what I mean. A very important issue for women is the issue of having children. You know, whether or not women want to admit it, and particularly feminists and all these specialists and psychologists and psychiatrists want to admit it, is a woman's natural instinct is to breed, to reproduce, to have children. And that is the core of I wouldn't say the core of a being, but it's such a big, important part of being a woman. It's our whole body is set up for reproduction. That's why women menstruate every month. It's part and parcel. It's a sign of fertility. And why are women valued for their youth? Their youth and health, it all relates to fertility. And consciously, for men, looking for a young woman. It's a fertility. It's all very unconscious and our natural instinct. And women, why do they panic in their 30s about finding a partner? Well, it's because they want to have children. They realize, I need to find someone because my biological clock's running out. Well, she didn't really consider it before about having children, but all of a sudden it's at the forefront, I guess. Yeah, it's just time and matters, and it comes to the forefront about a woman's priorities. So the issue is having children is a very important issue. I mean, that it cannot be emphasized enough about how important it is of an issue. You see, typically it is the man that is not in a hurry for children. And for a woman, due to biology, there is only a limited window of opportunity to procreate. So her decision whether to have children should be hers and hers alone. You know, she should never feel pressured to go along with her partner's wishes just to please him or keep the peace. You know, women, ladies, please do not do that. You know, because once the decision is made not to have children and the biological window of opportunity closes, she cannot change her mind and undo her decision. Yeah, you know, once it's been done and time passes, that's it. It's very difficult, and I guess so. That's why so many women err on the side of caution to have a child. You know, because she might change her mind and want children in the future, and then you can't. It's too late. And you know, a common line from many men is, if I find the right partner, then I'll have children. You heard of that line, ladies? Yeah, when you're dating, and then you might ask your man, do you want children? And how many times have you heard that? And anyway, and I guess a lot of women just nod their head and go, okay, so he wants children. But does he? Because this line is not the same as a woman typically saying, I want children. So now I'm going to be looking for the right person to have them with. You know, it sounds the same, but really is it? Just think carefully. Just think about it. It is completely different. You know, because for everyone, it should be a case of, if you want children, then you go out and find the right partner to have them with, not the other way around. You see? Because for the woman, it's, I want them, so I'm going to make it happen. And what the man's saying, by saying, if I find the right partner, then I have children, well, I'll have children only if this would happen. It's contingent on something happening first. And for women, it's a must. This is my goal, so I'm going to make it happen. And the man is saying, okay, I only have them if this happens. Not the same. Okay? Because, so then it's very important that you need to clarify this issue from the very beginning and choose someone like-minded, a like-minded partner in the first place. Not leave it and deal with the issue later on, because it never works out that way. You could end up wasting so much of your time only to end up and saying, change your mind later. It was not that big a deal. Or blasé about it. Yeah, later. When you watch your biological clock just ticking away. Tick, 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 tick. So, got to really think, does he want to have children? Are they a must-have? If you seriously want children, then you must be serious with this question and be honest with yourself as well. Because this is a question that needs to be addressed early on when you start a relationship, and especially if you really want children and you are in your 30s already, even in your early 30s, 32 or whatever, because time flies very quickly, and, you need to have time to firstly find someone, sift through them, obviously, and then establish a relationship first, and then be married to have children. Look, most people want to have children in marriage. Provide a stable environment where the parents are committed to each other and committed to raising their child, as that's always the gold standard. Granted, it doesn't always happen, but it's something that, people should be aiming for. It's just like you go into a race and your aim is always to win, come first place. And that's what you train for. And if you happen to not win it, so you come second or third, okay, then you accept it, that you didn't cut the mustard. But the point is that you were aiming for first place. Not someone like you keep hearing saying, oh, no, but look at how many people get divorced, single parent, and they're unhappy together. So having a child on your own is okay or whatever. It's kind of like you're saying, well, that person aimed to come first, but they ended up coming 10th. I'll aim to come 5th. How does that sound? That doesn't sound like a very high bar, or something that you really should be accepting as position, accepting to aim towards something a lot lower. So it's like, look, we aim for the gold standard. If we don't make it, okay, we accept that. At least we tried. All right? Now, the thing, ladies, even if you're still in your 20s, you need to address this question with your partner early. Like I said, because the time flies. And you could waste years with someone who in the end decides he doesn't want children after all. Then you have to start the search all over again and take the time meeting someone new, getting to know each other and establish a relationship. And then before you know it, you're well into your 30s and pushing the panic button. So you need a clear answer. You need to directly ask him the question of whether or not he wants children. And a common answer from uncommitted men is to say that he's open to having children again, but it all depends on the right relationship. And to be fair, this may entirely be true, but it's not the same as the driving passion of a woman wanting to have children and then going to find a partner to have them with. But also be aware, though, that it could also be a cover for him just to get you in a relationship without him having any intention of having children in at least the near or medium term, which most likely is not going to suit you. As I explained, biology and time waits for no woman. And so, if you want children, then you need to choose a man who is also clear and definite about having children. So this means he's certain about what he that's what he wants and isn't likely to change his mind, which is what you can't afford to take a risk on. You can't choose one who is undecided on the issue or says it depends on whether or not he's with the right partner. Well, and as I say, while this is fair enough, it's often used as a way of avoiding that line of questioning. Even if he's genuine about willing to have children if he finds the right partner, that's still not good enough basis for a woman to take that chance. Because for what if in the end of it all he says, sorry, but our relationship is just not strong enough for children? What are you going to do then? Well, so all you can do really is to make sure that his stance on the subject does not change. For once it does, then it's time for you to bail. Out. Go. Because this is the most important matter in a woman's life and it's something close to her heart. So therefore, it's something you cannot compromise on. A man can biologically still have children throughout his life, so the matter of time is not so pressing. However, a man can still be unhappy if he loves and wants children and if his wife doesn't or wants to wait. You know, this is an old case, but you can see it in the case of Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, because reportedly Brad wanted to have children and Jennifer Aniston wanted to wait and work on her career. And look at how that turned out. She ended up with no kids and her career's just gone down as she aged. So once he met someone who he clicked with and who also loved children, Angelina Jolie, he left Aniston for her, because he had met someone who wanted what he did. Now, granted that they're divorced now, but I think you get the whole point of the story about, being on the same page with it, about having children. Because when the desire for children doesn't match, then the accommodating partner would be quietly unhappy. I mean, your partner doesn't want children, but you don't want to insist and then rock the boat on that relationship. And then are you going to be happy? You're going to be unhappy while your mouth might speak the words and say, it's fine. Or tell the world, don't need children, but where in fact deep down in your heart you do, then this unhappiness is going to breed resentment. Then either the resentment will lead to the relationship breaking up by itself, or once they meet someone else who also wants the same thing that they do, then they will leave. I mean, wouldn't you? Look, the worst case would be where a woman has given up her desire for children, to have children, out of love for her partner, while at the same time, assuring a partner and herself that she's all right about it. Because what do you think is going to happen? Once she hits her 40s, then that unhappiness will have built up and then depression can hit. And then she may even lash out at her partner for pushing her into this situation. And her partner might not be any the wiser at her unhappiness, which is a terrible situation for the both of them. She might not be able to stay with him anymore, as she would then blame him for her not having children, and he'll be a constant reminder of why she doesn't have children. And the pain that he may suffer from his guilt would be so intolerable that he may no longer be able to stay with her. And this can sound repetitive, but this is such an important issue that I must emphasize this point. If your partner's desire for children does not match yours, then it's in your best interest to find this out early on. And if your desires do not match, then quickly move on and find somebody else. Ladies, you have to be this ruthless. Your reproductive future and therefore your sense of fulfillment and happiness in life depends on this. Do you know, the worst thing is living with regret and having regret. And that's something we want to avoid to be happy. Okay? Very important issue for women.